Okay, Bros review, take one. Let's do this. Don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, I've got the crop top on. Yes, she dressed up for this review. Brought this crop top all the way from London specifically for this movie review. That's commitment. Hey boys and girls and everything in between, my name is Luke Herefield, openly gay and proud film vlogger, and today on the channel I'm going to be discussing what I believe to be is a game changer of a film. It's the latest movie from Nicholas Stoller, who gave us Bad Neighbors and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and it is an LGBTQ+ R-rated rom-com, the first of its kind to be made by a major studio, thank you very much Universal, and also features a predominantly LGBTQ+ cast. It's called Bros. As you guys know, big studio gay rom-coms are rarer than actual unicorns, so there was a lot of pressure on Bros to be good, but it gives me such joy to say that Bros is an absolute triumph. I loved this movie and I could not wait to talk about it. This is a trailblazing, laugh-out-loud comedy which strikes the perfect balance of humor, heart, and honesty. Bros tells the story of a 40-year-old man called Bobby Lieber, who's played by Billy Eichner. He is a independent, successful gay man living in New York. He's got a popular podcast and he's in the middle of trying to raise $5 million to open the first LGBTQ+ museum in not only New York, but also America. He's that gay guy who's kind of married to his work, so his love life is a bit of an afterthought. But all that changes when Bobby meets a handsome yet emotionally unavailable man called Aaron, who's played by Macfarlane, and we watch these two do the typical dance of a romantic comedy film, but because this is about gay characters, it's viewed through the lens of a gay prism. Billy Eichner, who is the star of this film, also co-wrote the screenplay with Nicholas Stoller, and what's refreshing about Bros is how the film explores the dynamics of LGBTQ+ relationships. Rather than making this a straight, friendly version for the masses, you know, like boy meets boy, happy ending, Billy Eichner actually shows that we're a lot more complex than that. Our relationships are different, our sex lives are different, and the film does not shy away from showing those complexities. As gays, we aren't monolithic, we don't all fit into the same box. There's a wide array of diverse characters in this film that cover the entire spectrum of LGBTQ+ life. From gay parents to thruples to group sex, it's all presented very matter of fact and without an ounce of judgment or shame. I can't stress enough how important it is that a film like this exists, where it's normalizing subjects which are often very stigmatized. Just to see it in a mainstream movie and shown in such a positive light is so valuable. When you think about it, it's actually kind of crazy that it's taken us until 2022 to get the first ever mainstream, smutty, gay rom-com, which is something that Bros is very self-aware of. Often Billy Eichner's character Bobby will make sly jabs about Hollywood's attempts of showing queer representation in cinema. Like, he absolutely reads Bohemian Rhapsody to filth and how that handled Freddie Mercury's representation. And it also talks about how straight actors like Rami Malek are celebrated for playing gay roles and labeled as brave, and it's just so true. And he also discusses the bring out your gays trope, you know, how a lot of gay cinema doesn't have happy endings. The straights like to see us suffer with films like Milk, The Power of the Dog, and Brokeback Mountain. So to an extent, Billy Eichner is actually satirizing gay cinema in his own film. But this is what's exciting about cinema these days, is that we're finally starting to see more LGBTQ+ storytellers telling our stories. And it's why I think Bros is going to resonate with a lot of people, because there's so much authenticity in the way that the story is told. Yes, it is a rom-com, but so many times in this, I sort of saw myself in the situations. Like, I love how the film addresses the social protocols of Grindr hookup culture. And then there's another instance where some characters are getting together for sex, and then all of a sudden there's this random dude that gloms on called Steven. It's just like, yep, been in that situation where a randomer just somehow gets involved in a sexual encounter. It's so strange. And even like the tender stuff in this, like the scene where Aaron tells Bobby if he could tone it down when meeting his parents for the first time. I've had an experience like that before, where I've been told to sort of like rein in the gay, and it's just like, it's very hard to be told not to be yourself, and it's something that a lot of gay guys do struggle with. It's internalized homophobia, it's gay shame. There's a lot of that in here, and a lot of it really did speak to me, but it was also doing it from a comedic standpoint. It was also making fun of those things, and I think it's great that we're seeing that shown in a big mainstream rom-com. Let's talk about those performances. Billy Eichner was wonderful. I do think he's kind of playing like a heightened version of himself because he's very dry, very sarcastic, and very witty. His comic timing is excellent. Most of the funniest lines come from him. Ah, they can't stop voguing! It's a museum, not Schitt's Creek. We had AIDS, they had Glee. He also gets a priceless scene with Debra Messing, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. So yeah, he's really funny in this, but he also gets some very tender moments as well. Like, there's a scene on the beach where he talks about how long it took for the world to catch up and see gay people as equals. And this scene just really spoke to me. It really touched me. It got me a little bit weepy. And also, who knew that Billy Eichner could sing? I sure as hell didn't. He actually gets a song at the end of this movie, which is equal parts funny and touching. It actually made me cry. Wow. Also, Luke Macfarlane was terrific as well. Often big, hulky, muscly gay guys get boxed into that hot but not that bright category, but thankfully Macfarlane adds a lot of dimensions to him. He's wrestling with a lot of his own issues, he's got a lot of insecurities, and his character does go on a journey throughout this movie, which I really did appreciate. But really, everybody in this is great. Like, literally everybody. There's not a single performance that I can fault. As far as negatives go, I don't really have many, apart from there was this subplot involving testosterone injections, which is mostly used for a comedic payoff later in the film when one of the characters is using it and goes on a roid rage rampage. And it was fine, it was funny, but I actually thought this might have been an opportunity for them to go a little bit deeper on the subject and how gay men are constantly trying to live up to these impossible standards of beauty, trying to attain that gym body physique. But yeah, the film doesn't really go very deep with it. It's just kind of a missed opportunity in my eyes. Shall we talk about its Oscars chances? Because honestly, if Bros does well, I can see this film getting some nominations. I actually think it might get a Best Song nomination for the song that Billy Eichner sings. I honestly think it's that good. It might just have enough of an emotional impact to make people vote for it, so I could see it getting into the Best Song. I could also see a Best Original Screenplay nomination for Billy Eichner and Nicholas Stoller. The script is so sharp and just extremely well written, and it would not surprise me if it just happened to show up in the Best Original Screenplay category this year. Also, if Bros does do well and strikes a chord with the masses, I'm not ruling it out that Bros could get a Best Picture nomination. I can honestly see it with 10 slots. It could get in. Like, this movie was such a crowd pleaser, and it was funny, it was moving, like, it's a gay movie as well, like, it's an important film, so you can see the Academy going, this is, it's a milestone accomplishment, let's acknowledge it with a Best Picture nomination. I could see that happening, so I could see Bros actually squeezing into the Best Picture category this year. But yeah, that's just my opinions on its Oscar predictions. What are you guys predicting Oscar nominations-wise for Bros? Let me hear in the comment section down below. Anyway, it's time to ask those 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? Absolutely. I flipping love this movie. I cannot wait to watch it again back home with Glenn in the cinema, maybe even take my friends to go see it, but also I will be buying a copy of it, adding it to my collection as soon as possible. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? Oh, absolutely, to everyone. I mean, who doesn't love a comedy? Like, this is one of the best laugh out loud comedies I have seen in ages. Like, it's up in the same leagues as Booksmart, Bridesmaids, and The Hangover. This is a film that really is special and I want it to succeed, so I'm pushing it on people. Trust me, you're gonna have such a fun time watching this in the cinema with other people. It is accessible to everyone. You're gonna have a wickedly fun time watching it. Don't deprive yourself of seeing it in a cinema, okay? I highly recommend it. And third question, what score to give it out of 10? Bros is something very rare and therefore special. Like right now, it's kind of an unconventional yet conventional romantic comedy, and that's just because it's the first of its kind. We don't have any other films like this, a gay mainstream romantic comedy. Like, it really is unique, but it's also good quality. Like, it's funny, it made me weep, the performances are wonderful. It's a crowd pleaser. Like, it really is something special. I'm so happy this film exists. I think it's going to open the doors for more films like it to follow. But yeah, this film is a legit game changer, and I just had such a blast watching it. So I'm gonna give Bros a score of 10 out of 10. But not only that, this is a film that I think everybody should watch at least once before they die. That is the highest classification I can give a film, and I very rarely say that about romantic comedies, but this one really is something special that everybody should watch. So yes, go watch it, guys. But as always, guys, just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you guys. Have you seen Bros? If you have, what did you make of it? Do you think it's gonna get some Oscar nominations? Whatever you have to say about this film, let your voice be heard in that comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, help me out by hitting that thumbs up button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe, and if you want to follow me on any of my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, it's all in that video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.